The Dallas Cowboys are going to break the NFL with this. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Cowboys predicted to make trade for explosive Texans RB that could break the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys probably need a bit of an upgrade at the running back position. As the Cowboys prepare to enter training camp later this month, they'll do so with an underwhelming group of running backs. Dallas added veteran backs Ezekiel, Elliot, and Royce Freeman during the offseason, but neither served as a full-time starting running back last season. The rest of the Cowboys' depth chart is rounded out by inexperienced runners such as Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis, and Rico Dowdle. Neither running back has ever started a game during their professional careers. In other words, there is no clear-cut favorite to start at running back for the Cowboys. Bleacher Report's Alex Ballentine makes a bold prediction that Dallas will make a move for a running back before the season, with Ballentine projecting that the Cowboys trade for an establisher runner, such as the Houston Texans' Dameon Pierce. A trade might make more sense. Dameon Pierce would be a logical target, writes Ballentine. He had a successful rookie season with the Houston Texans, but ceded his role to Devin Singletary last season, and the Texans acquired Joe Mixon this offseason. Pierce is a young 24-year-old running back and is just entering his 3rd season in the NFL, when he ran for 939 yards on 4.3 yards per carry as the Texans' starting running back. His rushing yards ranked 3rd among all rookie running backs. Bleacher Report's Derek Klassen described Pierce as a stout, explosive runner coming out of the draft. However, he fell out of favor during an absolutely rough 2023 season. Despite the Texans emerging as a playoff contender under the leadership of rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud, Pierce struggled on his way to 2.9 yards per carry, the lowest rushing average among all qualifying runners last season. Pierce posted just 416 rushing yards on 145 carries with 2 touchdowns during the 2023 season. Pierce started 7 games before eventually losing his starting job to Devin Singletary. While Singletary is no longer a member of the Texans, Houston did acquire former Cincinnati Bengals Pro Bowler Joe Mixon via trade. While Mixon is a bit on the older side, he'll be 28 years old this season, he still projects as the starter with Pierce as the backup. While the Texans could very well retain Pierce, considering Mixon's usage since 2017, he has served as a starting back. For the past 7 seasons, they could also capitalize on acquiring some draft capital by trading with a running back-needy team, such as the Cowboys. Considering Mixon, who has been a consistent starter for a number of years, was acquired for just a 7th-round pick, it's hard to envision Pierce costing much more than that. Pierce is obviously 4 years younger with significantly less mileage on his body. That could lift the asking price to possibly a 6th-round draft pick. The Cowboys could very well go with a running back by committee game plan entering the season. But even that idea is underwhelming when considering Elliot averaged 3.5 yards per carry last season, and when factoring in that Freeman has started just 1 game since the 2019 season. If the Cowboys can acquire Pierce for a low draft pick, they absolutely make a deal for a young running back who would immediately emerge as their starter. The second story is Cowboys predicted to cut veteran quarterback after projected demotion. Dak Prescott's future has generated the majority of the offseason attention for the Dallas Cowboys, but the franchise also faces decisions on Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. With Lance's cap and hit increasing by more than $4 million this season compared to 2023, Rush's future with the franchise remains uncertain. The Athletic's John Machota noted that Lance is expected to take over the backup quarterback role from Rush in 2024. The Cowboys insider believes Rush's days with the franchise are numbered. Dallas only keeps Prescott and Lance while releasing Rush in Machota's roster projections. The Cowboys are unlikely to keep 3 quarterbacks, so the backup job comes down to Lance and Cooper Rush. Machota wrote in a July 3, 2024, article titled, Cowboys 53-man roster projection, Trey Lance versus Cooper Rush, decisions on the D-line. While Rush is more accomplished in NFL games, the Cowboys are hoping Lance can show some of the upside that made him the third overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Lance will get every opportunity to win the backup spot. He would have to look awful in camp and the preseason to not get the job. Rush has a $2.8 million cap hit in 2024 for the final season of a 2-year, $5 million contract. Dallas could opt to keep all three quarterbacks, but Machota's projections have the front office using this more than $2 million cap savings in other ways. Could Dallas look to trade Rush rather than releasing the quarterback? Rush had a free agent market in 2023 before re-signing with the Cowboys. ESPN's Todd Archer reported that the Las Vegas Raiders and Cincinnati Bengals were two teams who expressed an interest in Rush. Even if the Cowboys were able to net a late-round draft pick, it would be better than releasing Rush for nothing. After going 4-1 last season as the Dallas Cowboys' starting quarterback while Dak Prescott recovered from thumb surgery, Rush was a hot commodity in free agency. Archer detailed in an April 4, 2023, story titled Barrow. He took a night to sleep on the Cowboys' offer and woke up on St. Patrick's Day with a 2-year deal worth a max of $6 million that included a $1.25 million signing bonus. As for Prescott, the quarterback is still without a contract extension. If no new deal is signed, Prescott would be a free agent in 2025. Yet Prescott does not sound concerned about his uncertain contract status. Yeah. There's been conversations back and forth, but for the most part, for me, as y'all know, I'm going let my agent do that, especially as we get right here into training camp, Prescott told reporters on July 9th. Day 1 of training camp. My mind flips to obviously helping my team and just doing everything I can within the organization and on the football field to make sure that I am my best and everyone around me is their best. And the money and all that will take care of itself, as it always has. The third story that it is rumored that the Dallas Cowboys need to move on from Dak Prescott after 2024. Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys must take a long, hard look in the mirror and decide, is it emphasis on being competitive and contending for the NFC East Championship year after year? Or does the star still represent America's team and the standard to win Super Bowls in Dallas? Lombardi trophies. The Dallas Cowboys have not won an NFC Championship game since 1995, 29 years ago, 38-27 over Brett Favre and the Packers. Jerry Jones, from my perspective, finds himself in the same realm as CEO of Nike Phil Knight, who is well-known Oregon alumni and wants to see a national championship on the gridiron at age 86, willing to pay any amount of name, image, and likeness for an elite roster to win a championship before Knight was to transition. Jerry Jones is 81 years old and staring mortality in the face as Phil Knight is at age 86. It is win now mode in my eyes in Dallas if Jerry wants to see a championship. And this is where Dak Prescott comes into play. When I look at quarterbacks, I look at quarterbacks in tiers. And can the quarterback be the reason to get you over the hump and win you a championship? Dak Prescott's overall record in an 8-year career is 73-41. Minimal success in the playoffs, without an NFC championship appearance. If it were about stats, then yes, Prescott would be elite with 4,416 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions with a 105.9 passer rating. The numbers are great, but when I go back to tiers of quarterback in 8 years, Prescott has never taken the Cowboys to an NFC championship game. Most recently, he lost to the Green Bay Packers with a young quarterback in Jordan Love when Dak Prescott is the veteran. I do not have the confidence in Prescott like I do for Joe Burrow to win in Kansas City in the postseason, or as I did for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to roll into Baltimore and upset Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I mean, we've witnessed the Cowboys taste defeat to their rival San Francisco 49ers. We witnessed the Chicago Bears choose to go the cheaper option and reset the franchise by trading Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers and drafting Caleb Williams on a rookie deal and being able to be under the salary cap, paying a quarterback on a rookie deal, and being able to build around Caleb Williams roster-wise in Chicago to be successful as a rookie. The Cowboys have major deals outside of Prescott to think of, like paying Ceedee Lamb and Micah Parsons. If you're like me and Jerry Jones and his team feel Prescott cannot get the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, let Prescott leave in free agency after 2024. Trade for a quarterback and get younger in the draft. Prescott is fighting through an ankle injury, and he will only get older and mobility will diminish. Being a shorter NFL quarterback at 6'2", you need mobility when you cannot see over taller offensive linemen when trying to throw, which causes difficulty finding throwing lanes in the passing game.